This is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, we're going to compare the Green Star Pro, one of the high-end juicers made by TriBest, to the Dynapro vacuum blender. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, John, a blender is not a juicer because it blends up everything. It keeps the fiber and all. There can be benefits to keeping the fiber. That being said, in many cases, I like to remove the fiber and have a juice. So how you can use a vacuum blender as a juicer is you will need a nut milk bag. This happens to be by Blendtec, although it is discontinued. It will be rebranded soon under a different brand name that we will stock at Discount Juicers, hopefully within the next 30 to 45 days from the time this video is being filmed, although it probably is in stock by the time you're watching this video, if the video, you're watching this video later on. So basically, I do not recommend juicing in a standard traditional blender that introduces a lot of air into the mixture. Air is the enemy to juicing, right? That's why you don't want to use a high-speed machine. You want to use a slow juicer, a low-speed juicer, because the higher, faster the machine spins, like the high-speed juicers, the more air it bombards into the juice being created, and the more it lowers the nutrition. So that's one factor, how much oxygen is being put in the juice. The second factor that has to do with juicing that's very important in my opinion is how well does a juicer grind up all the fibers? How well does it grind up a carrot and make it into little fine particles or little shreds? The finer the juicer could get the particle size, the more nutrients can be exposed and come out of the cell walls, because that's where the nutrients are locked. I mean, Jay Corded said it best, it's the juice of the fiber that feeds you. And the twin gear juicer is known to be one of the best juicers for grinding up fibers to the smallest particle size of all the different slow juicers. Auger juicers don't grind as well as the twin gear style juicer. Of course, there are cons of the twin gear style juicer as well. They are quite expensive. Also, it does take some effort to push produce items in, like carrots, for example, because you're literally putting carrots into two twin gears that are running towards each other. Over on the Dynapro vacuum blender side, I mean, the blender honestly does the best job at grading and opening cell walls better than anything else, right? And because it's done under an oxygen deprived environment, because we use a vacuum pump to suck out the oxygen before we do any blending, it will retain higher levels of polyphenols according to some of the studies I've seen, even over the Green Star Pro. That being said, although it does make a higher quantity in all cases, probably over this, also higher nutrient quality, vacuum blending to juice, you can't process every different item in here. If you did straight carrots, it would just totally not, it would fail unless you added some extra liquid like water, because straight carrots are not going to blend. But if you have like some liquids in there and with the carrots, or some watery fruits and the carrots in there, it'll totally do fine. So if you're like, John, I just want to make carrot juice straight, no water added, no nothing, then you got to go with this machine. So you can see like each style of juicer offers different pros and cons and benefits or not. So I want to go over how each of these machines work. I mean, pretty much simply, the vacuum blender works very simply and easily. You will put the ingredients in the carafe. Make sure you put water ingredients first, or just water or coconut water or other pre-made juices that you made previously. And then put in the material that you're going to process, and then basically blend it up. There's a few features on here that's nice that I'll show you guys in a minute. The pulse feature that really makes it a lot easier. Of course, cleaning this is going to be a breeze because you literally have a carafe to clean, which is super easy, and then you have a nut milk bag to clean, which I basically spray out with the garden hose, and it gets it pretty much all clean like that. Over on the juicer, it's a little bit different story. A lot more moving parts on here. We got the main body housing. We got to take this apart. We got the 200% stainless steel augers in here. A little bit stuck today. And we'll have to clean those. And then we have this assembly here. We have the juicing screen that we'll now have to scrub clean, as well as some juicer parts to clean. This machine takes me about 5 minutes to clean, and it's very important when you assemble the Green Star Pro and these are the two twin gears that the produce literally runs into and squeezes. You got to make sure you line up the dots in the back, otherwise it can be problematic. So you can go ahead and throw that in there, put that on, put this guy on, crank that down, put that on the top, and now we're actually all set up ready to do so. The other thing is there's an outlet adjusting knob on the Green Star Pro and Elite that basically puts tension on the mixture to keep it inside to get it wrung out longer. This can be a pro in the case of carrots, you get a higher yield, but if you're juicing something really soft like pineapples, you may need to even take this all the way off. And because the way this machine runs, it doesn't deal with soft textures like high percentages of fruits that well. You really need to have some level of hard root vegetables or minimally some celery or leafy greens to help push through the soft fruit material. So this is not a machine you'd want to buy if you want to juice like mostly fruits. Actually, I prefer the vacuum blender for juicing fruits with the bag. So those are the two different machines actually, and actually today the Dynapro actually costs less than the Green Star Pro, although they both have 15-year warranties on their entire units. These are the longest warranties in the industry for the juicers as well as for any vacuum blender, or in that case any blender that I'm aware of at that time. Vacuum blending is a game changer in my opinion. If you want a video on the Dynapro specifically, check the link down below where I'll have a video unboxing the Dynapro, and this is the new model, the 2250. The previous model has been discontinued, the 1050. So I guess let's go ahead and get our produce here and weigh it out, and then we're going to go ahead and juice in each method and show you guys how long it takes and also show you guys the results. So as you guys can see, we got the produce all ready to go, all weighed out. We're going to go ahead and give you guys a close-up on the scales. We have organic cantaloupe and organic carrots today, which is actually Jay Cordich's, the Juice Man's, one of his favorite recipes, or so I hear. All right, let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up here. Just show you guys both scales. Over on both scales, looks like 1651 on both scales. Just the organic cantaloupe with some organic carrots. Now that we got the weigh-in done, we're going to go ahead and remove the scales off the table to reveal my stopwatch. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and time to see how long it takes to juice in each method. So first I'll be juicing in the Green Star Pro juicer. If you're just juicing straight cantaloupes, like, it's really not going to work. It can be quite problematic, but hopefully I have enough carrots to get the cantaloupe to go through the juicer, because soft textures like cantaloupe generally doesn't do too well through the juicer. But if we got a carrot to put in right behind it, it actually might work fairly well. So the goal is to put as many cantaloupes in until it starts backing up, then put a carrot in there to get it all flushed through. And this is probably definitely going to take me some time to get this going. So I guess to save you guys some time, we're going to go ahead and turn this machine on, start the process, and we're just going to go ahead and fast forward this video. Alright, I want to give you guys an update. This is working very uneventfully. I'm basically just putting handfuls of cantaloupe and then breaking a carrot in half and feeding like half a carrot through. Pushing that carrot through. Basically all you see come out is like carrot pulp, because a cantaloupe just gets pressed up so well and juiced, extracted like really well. So you always want to end up with extra carrots, not extra cantaloupe. It looks like my collection cup that's collecting the juice is getting quite full. So we're going to go ahead and switch that out real quick here with you on the camera so you guys can see how much we got. And we're going to go ahead and continue to juice. Alright, looks like we got all the cantaloupe through the machine. A few little stragglers here, one little small bit. And we ended up with one whole carrot. We're just going to go ahead and pour that, put that through the machine. It does take some downward force to push carrots in the machine. I'm just basically flat-handed. Let me see if I can use one finger. I can do one finger with a lot of pressure, so if you are old, have arthritis or whatnot, have limited strength or mobility, you might want to get a different juicer, especially if juicing the carrots. If juicing leaves, you know, the leaves literally almost get sucked in out of your hand. Now, once you're done juicing in the Green Star Pro, you want to let the machine run for a minute or two to let all the juice drip out. You'll know when the juicer's done when the pulp stops flowing out of the feed chute here. Looks like we're pretty much done. And then the thing I like to do is I like to tip the machine up a little bit and then back and get a few more drops. So that process took about 5 minutes to make the cantaloupe carrot juice today. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and vacuum juice in the Dynapro. It's a little bit different process. We're basically going to just dump all the pre-cut cantaloupe up, and we got to break the carrots up into smaller pieces and then load that into the hopper. So we're going to go ahead and hit start, and we're going to get started. So start, and now all you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and always make sure you load your fruit first. If you loaded the carrots first, this would totally does not work whatsoever. So you need to make sure you got all the liquids in there first. Make sure you click the link down below for a video I talk about juicing like green juices in the vacuum blender. Not everything can be juiced in a vacuum blender. So the other thing I like to do is once I get all the fruits in there, we're going to shake this down to, you know, get it as close to the bottom as possible, and then we're just going to go ahead and, you know, break up these carrots into little smaller bits. It'll make it easier for the blender to process. Alright, once we got all the carrots chopped up, then we put the lid on, make sure we got the lid sealed on properly. Now we're going to go ahead and use the vacuum pump and pump out the excess oxygen out of the container. This is something no juicer you know, does. So you can actually blend and juice in an oxygen-deprived environment. So you guys can hear the vacuum pump come on. What's happening now is it's sucking the excess air and oxygen out of the carafe. And we're just going to go ahead and let this run and come back at you when it's fully pumped out. Alright, the vacuum pump will automatically cut off. I'll then double check to make sure it has good vacuum. I'll just release it and then vacuum again, which it does. Now we can remove the vacuum pump, put this up on the blender, and all we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and hit the pulse button once and the blend button once. This will pulse it for 30 seconds to get the mixture down and then blend it at full speed. You can see it pulsed and it's just dropping down. And now the carrots are kind of getting mixed into the mixture. It's being pulsed and it's dropping in. And you could really hear it's putting some nice load. Alright, so it's shut off, and now we're going to go ahead and suck out let the vacuum back in. Sound of freshness. Now we're going to go ahead and take this mixture and pour it in our nut milk bag. I'm going to go ahead and use a spatula to get all the remaining mixture out. Alright, there we go. Now the next step is we're going to go just press this out. This is very simple and easy to press out with your hands. No press is required. You guys can see the juice is literally just flowing out of the nut milk bag. Now the reason why this works so well is because the blender literally grinds up the carrots and the cantaloupe even to a smaller particle size so that you can easily extract the mixture with your hands just by literally pressing and squeezing. It's just coming out so easily. So we're going to go ahead and finish squeezing all this, and then we're going to come back at you with the results. Alright, so I'm just about done squeezing. I probably could squeeze a little bit more, but we got all the pulp there. It's nice and dry. We can go ahead and hit stop here. So that took about 8 minutes to process this way. If you maybe blend it a little bit shorter, then you could maybe save a little bit of time. So it took a few minutes more using this method, but let's check out the results. So this is the results we got from the Dynapro with the nut milk bag, the juice made under vacuum. We have a similar collection bowl, and first I'm going to strain the juice because we have a nice fine juice over there. Want to make sure we have a nice strained juice over on this side. Alright, so there's a little bit of pulp that's in the juice from that container, and we're going to go ahead and pour this one out. right, there you go. So that made a little bit of pulp in the juice that we then removed. So now let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up and see how much juice each juicer made. Let's go ahead and compare the yields over on the Green Star Pro. Green Star Pro made a rapid ball. If you look very closely there at the line, it's maybe a little bit above 4 cups of juice is my best determination. But if we go over to the Dynapro with the bag, look at that, it made more. So if we close up on this, that's about a little bit over 5 cups of juice. So the vacuum method made 1 extra cup of juice. So you guys just learned that the Dynapro and bag juicing under vacuum made 1 extra cup of juice. Now I want to show you guys actually the difference in the pulp that was generated using each method. So this is pretty much the pulp generated by the Green Star Pro over on this side, all the cucumber carrot pulp. And then now we could use the same pulp over from the Dynapro that's been squeezed out with the nut milk bag. Alright, so can you guys see the difference of that? Like, I mean, if we just compact these down a little bit, you guys could clearly see, like, this is like, I'll give you guys a close-up. This is really broken down. There's like no big chunks, no big fibers. Like, this is like a mush. It's really compressed because there's an extra cup of juice that went into there that's not still sitting in the pulp. Whereas over on the Green Star Pro side, this pulp is a lot more coarse. There's like, bigger chunks. There's like little bits of carrots that literally didn't get, ground up optimally. Let's see if I give you guys a close-up on both these so you guys can see what they look like. To me, it's just impressive how much better, the blender does at grinding up all the fibers, making less pulp and, a higher yield for you guys. So the final thing I want to do today in this video before I call the winner of this juice off is I want to do a taste test, right? In general, I like to think that the vacuum blended juice tastes better because the oxidative damage is not happening during the breaking open of the cell walls, although once you remove the vacuum, it is. Both these juices will oxidize. If you do choose to store your juices, I encourage you guys to store it under vacuum to prevent further oxidation. The best way, obviously, is to drink the juice right after you make it. So here's the Green Star Pro juice sample we're going to go ahead and try for you guys. Cantaloupe carrot. Wow, that's a bomb recipe, man. That tastes so good. It's so sweet. So delicious, so smooth. No particulate. No real aftertaste. Let's go ahead and use the Dynapro vacuum blended juice now. Wow. To me, we use the same cantaloupes in both recipes. This juice, for some reason, tastes like sweeter to me. It just really hits you in the face how sweet it is. Let's go ahead and try this one again. Both have really nice mouthfeel. That's good, but for some reason, this one came out a little bit sweeter. I'm not sure if that's the oxidative damage that happens or what, but that's pretty much it for this juice off comparison. Now, the final thing I want to mention is the cleaning time. What's the cleaning time of both these methods, right? Although the juicing time maybe took a bit more in the Dynapro because I have to pack things up and break the carrots up and whatnot. To clean this style, we got to clean the carafe, which is basically just hose it down, spray it out. We got to spray this down. Super simple, super easy. And, I'm not even going to start taking apart all the parts in the Green Star Pro again because there's lots of parts to clean in there. So at the end of this juice off, you got to ask yourself, what do you want to juice? Are you going to juice a lot of fruits? Then you might want to go with a vacuum blender. But if you're doing straight carrots, then of course the vacuum blender won't work. Then you want to go with the Green Star Pro. It made a really respectable yield. Just 1 cup less. Also, there was no hand squeezing to get your hands dirty. But you did have that pushing of the produce. Here's the thing, guys. Every juicer style or vacuum juicing or slow juicer has its own sets of pros and cons. I make these videos for you guys so that you guys could learn about the differences and the pros and the cons between the different machines so that you guys could purchase the right one for you. You know, if you're like, John, I want to juice like all fruits. Well, I would honestly get a vacuum blender for that purpose and then a nut milk bag to strain out, because that's going to work a lot better than any slow juicer. Slow juicers technically don't really handle, you know, big volumes of fruits that well. They tend to mush up, they don't make a high yield, and the pulp usually comes out pretty wet. You know, likewise, if you just, John, I just want to juice straight kale juice, right? The Dynapro won't really make straight kale juice. Check the link down below for my video on making a green juice. You need to have enough like celery and or cucumber or romaine hearts to get kale to juice properly in the Dynapro, or add water like I talked about. Meanwhile, you could do that in the Green Star Pro. If you did straight kale, it would make the kale foam a lot. So actually in that case, I would use a single auger juicer such as the Solo Star 4. So you gotta, you know, pick the right juicer for your needs. You know, I know a lot of you guys are really concerned about yield, and if yield's your primary factor as well as nutrient quality, I'm gonna have to say you want to go with the Dynapro, because in my opinion, based on juicing for over 20 years, blending under vacuum and then straining it out with a nut milk bag is the best way to get the highest nutrients and the highest yield, bar none, from what I've seen to date. If you're interested in buying the Green Star Pro or the Dynapro, check the link down below in the description. Also the first comment of this video, I'll have links to both these products, and I would encourage you guys to support me and my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue to make these juice off comparisons to share with you guys what happens when you juice even amounts of produce, and also give you guys my technical expertise about juicers and which one may be the best one for you. There's nobody else on the planet that goes into the detail that I do with the juicers, and I'm here to help you select the right juicer so that you can become a juicer for life, because juicing has literally changed my life, and I'm confident if you start doing it, it will change yours as well. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also be sure to share this video with somebody else so that they could learn the differences between the twin gear and a vacuum juicer. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below, and make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out every 5 to 7 days. And make sure you check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 600 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel, dedicated to comparing and contrasting all the different major brand juicers and other appliances that allow you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables so that you could get healthier. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.